Ventral striatum is a crucial part of the brain involved in reward, motivation, learning, and reinforcement. It is primarily made up of the nucleus accumbens, NAC, and parts of the olfactory tubercle. This structure plays a major role in decision-making, habit formation, emotional processing, and addiction by interacting with the dopamine system, particularly through connections with the ventral tegmental area, VTA. Functions of the ventral striatum: reward and motivation. The ventral striatum processes pleasure and reward-seeking behavior. When you do something enjoyable, eat food, engage in social interaction, or even anticipate a reward, the VTA releases dopamine into the nucleus accumbens, reinforcing the behavior. This dopamine signal motivates action, encouraging the brain to repeat behaviors that led to past rewards. The ventral striatum is involved in value-based decision-making, weighing the cost and effort needed to achieve a reward. Learning and habit formation. This structure is central to reinforcement learning, helping the brain associate certain actions with positive or negative outcomes. It works with the prefrontal cortex to evaluate behaviors and decide whether they should be repeated. Over time, dopamine-driven reinforcement loops contribute to the formation of habits and, in extreme cases, compulsions. Emotional and social processing. The ventral striatum helps regulate positive emotions and influences how we anticipate pleasure. It plays a role in social bonding and attachment, reinforcing interactions that are rewarding. Dysfunctions in this system are linked to depression, anhedonia, inability to feel pleasure, and addiction. Addiction and compulsive behaviors. Substances like cocaine, heroin, and alcohol hijack this system by artificially flooding it with dopamine, reinforcing compulsive drug-seeking behavior. Behavioral addictions, for example, gambling, social media, toxic relationships, activate the same reward circuits. The ventral striatum connects with the dorsal striatum, transitioning behaviors from goal-directed to automatic habitual over time. How intermittent reinforcement rewires the brain. Intermittent reinforcement refers to random or unpredictable rewards, making behaviors more difficult to extinguish. This is one of the most effective ways to hijack the ventral striatum and create compulsive behaviors. Dopamine and unpredictability, the maybe effect. Normally, dopamine is released when a reward occurs. However, unpredictable rewards trigger even higher dopamine spikes because the brain perceives them as more valuable. The brain is wired to seek patterns and predict rewards, so when rewards occur inconsistently, the ventral striatum stays engaged, fixated on figuring out when the next one will come. This is why gambling, social media notifications, and unpredictable relationships are addictive. The brain continuously chases the reward. Strengthening of reward pathways. Intermittent reinforcement strengthens neural synapses in the ventral striatum, making certain behaviors deeply ingrained. The longer a behavior is reinforced intermittently, the stronger and more automatic it becomes. Even small, occasional rewards keep the brain hooked, fueling compulsive behavior. Emotional dependence and love obsession. In relationships, intermittent affection, hot and cold behavior, triggers the same reinforcement learning process as gambling. The uncertainty of whether or not someone will be affectionate or responsive makes the brain obsess over them. This mechanism underlies romantic obsession, love addiction, and toxic relationship cycles, particularly for people with attachment trauma. Harder to break unhealthy patterns. Normally, if a reward stops coming, behavior gradually fades, extinction. Intermittent rewards prevent extinction because the brain assumes, if I just keep trying, maybe I'll get the reward again. This is why breakups, quitting gambling or overcoming addictions are so difficult, the ventral striatum remains wired for the possibility of a future reward. How to rewire the ventral striatum? Break the dopamine loop. Identify what's reinforcing the cycle. For example, checking texts, chasing someone's attention, gambling, compulsive habits. Eliminate intermittent rewards by either going cold turkey or switching to predictable, stable rewards. Create new reward pathways. Train the brain to expect rewards from consistent sources. For example, exercise, learning, creative work. Use scheduled reinforcement, where rewards happen at predictable intervals instead of randomly. Practice mindfulness and emotional regulation. Recognize when your dopamine system is being manipulated by external factors. Delay gratification to reduce the urgency of cravings. Physical adjustments. Exercise boosts dopamine naturally, helping to rewire reward pathways. Proper sleep and nutrition help regulate dopamine sensitivity and receptor function. Now, explain for a 12-year-old. Imagine your brain is like a puppy that loves treats. Every time you do something fun, your brain gives you a dopamine treat telling you, "Good job, do that again." What the ventral striatum does. It's like a "yes, more, please" button in your brain that makes you chase fun things. If you eat candy, win a game, or get a text from a crush, your brain gets excited and wants more. It helps you remember what makes you happy so you'll do it again. Why intermittent rewards? Hook your brain. Now imagine if your puppy only sometimes got a treat when it did a trick. Sometimes it gets one, sometimes it doesn't. What happens? The puppy gets obsessed with trying, thinking, "Maybe next time I'll get a treat." This is what happens in gambling, social media, and toxic relationships. You keep waiting for the reward, even if it's rare. Your brain loves surprises, so it makes you keep checking your phone, hoping for a message, or playing a game one more time. Why it's hard to quit. If the treats suddenly stop forever, the puppy still keeps waiting, hoping for one more. This is why people stay in bad relationships, check their phones constantly, or gamble away money. The brain doesn't want to believe the reward is gone. How to train your brain better. Stop chasing maybe. If something makes you happy only sometimes, it's a trick. Find good rewards. Do things that always feel good and help you. Sports, learning, making stuff. Give yourself treats at the right time. Don't wait for random rewards. Reward yourself on purpose. Exercise and sleep. They help your brain make dopamine in a healthy way. Your brain is trainable, just like a puppy. If you give it good rewards and stop chasing random ones, it will learn new, better habits over time.